Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Q&A for Arrow and the Flash this week, is DC related stuff. Thank you everyone that submitted questions. There were actually like a lot of comic book things that happened in the Flash episode and a couple really big twists that we need to talk about from Arrow. A lot of you asked about the CW Fan Talk 2. I don't know if they're going to upload the video anywhere. It seemed like everyone in international countries had trouble watching it, so I'll see if there's any workarounds if I ever do something like that again. So let's get to some Arrow Flash craziness. Just general spoiler warning from episodes 10 of The Flash and Arrow if you haven't seen them yet. So here we go. Question number 1. Deadpool Pie. That's an awesome name. Throat gets crushed, stabbed in stomach, stabbed in chest, probably through a lung, kicked off a cliff, and left in the freezing cold for days. Brought back almost instantly thanks to MacGuffin plot device. All hail mighty MacGuffin plot device. So that's actually a really good statement. I think that they'll answer how they brought him back in the next episode or two. I mean, we'll find out really quickly, but I think the real big question is going to be, what is he going to do now that he's back? And just to explain the falling off the cliff thing, I know a lot of people were wondering, why didn't every bone in his body smash? Stephen Amell implied in a couple interviews that maybe something broke his fall and we just didn't see it, like the way they cut it. So just assume he fell hard enough to knock him out cold and leave him near the point of death, but not so hard that every bone in his body was smashed to dust. Question number 2, lots more Ollie stuff. So Akba asks, I'm glad they just flat out tell you Ollie's not dead. We all know he's not going to die, so why pretend it's even a mystery? Seeing how he recovers and get back to Starling is far more interesting. Yeah, so if you remember the episode that he had with Katana, they talked a lot about what's going on up top, like a very meditative exploration of his psyche. So I think we'll get a lot of that. Maseo said that he asked Katana to come to wherever it is that they are to bring him back to life. The way they cut the episode makes it seem like they're moving in real time, so, whatever 3 days it's been, they could have jumped around in time a little bit, so we don't know how long he was out cold. What I'm really hoping is they explain it in some way so that he gets to actually be dead for that period of time that he was out. It'll be really interesting to see like what's going on up in his head, like if he and Katana do some crazy meditation like they did in the previous episode. On to question number 3. So K2002-ish asks, I think Merlin will die this season, saving Theon or Oliver or somebody like that. And when Merlin dies, Oliver will tell people to start calling him Green Arrow because Merlin suggested calling him that in season 1. That's actually a good thought. I don't know if they're going to kill Merlin off this soon. I mean, John Barrowman feels like one of the anchors of the show. I mean, he's a really big character. It is interesting to think about when he's going to start calling himself Green Arrow. Sidestep to Laurel. She's Black Canary. Like the writers have said, she's not the Canary, she's Black Canary. So if she's getting the full name, maybe Oliver's full name is right around the corner. Maybe part of this death and resurrection process is upgrading himself to Green Arrow from just the Arrow. Back to life with a brand new personality. What I'd really like to see is them hold off on Green Arrow, the Green Arrow name, until right before the series finale. And then like in the series finale, they let Batman come on the show and induct him into the Justice League. Question number 4, Stephen Foster asks, I wonder if Arrow is going to bring on the old Arrow. I'm talking about Alan Tudyk from Injustice Gods Among Us. So it's totally possible you could see other people from the DC universe or previous versions of the DC universe popping up on Arrow. It's just a question of budget, like it costs a lot of money to get those actors on the show, and schedules have to line up. I think I was saying during my Arrow review that the Ted Grant character, the actor playing him, got cast on another show. Someone had asked Mark Guggenheim if Black Canary was going to have a romance with him this year, and he said that was the plan, but because the actor got cast on another show, then it was a no-go. They probably weren't going to do it. So most of the time, bringing actors on a show and trying to use them a lot just doesn't work out for a variety of reasons. Mark Hamill on The Flash is actually an example of it working, though, when it works really well. He's going to be playing the older version of the Trickster, like his character from the original Flash TV series. I'll talk more about that whenever we get to that episode. It's like several weeks away. Question number 5. Jack DiCarlo asks, Hey Charlie, which Robin do you think would most likely be on Arrow the Flash? Personally, I think it would be Tim Drake, because they already have Captain Boomerang who killed Tim's father. I totally agree with your logic. I feel like DC and Warner Brothers wouldn't let them do Batman characters that big. The writers have said a couple times that they're flat out not allowed to reference Gotham City or Metropolis. Like there's certain places that are just off limits. So a lot of Batman characters they can't use, but they did get to use Ra's al Ghul, so it's always possible. Part of the problem is that they're starting a Teen Titans live action series. I mean, it's just called Titans. It's going to have Nightwing, so that Robin is obviously going to be off limits. Because of that, they also might make all the other Robins off limits. Gotham is supposedly going to be doing the Graysons, but it'll be doing the Flying Graysons. So if you want to see any Robins, the closest you'll probably get, as far as we know now, is Gotham. Question number 6, Jeffrey Gibson asks, what do you think the chances are that Malcolm Merlyn will team up with Team Arrow? I can't remember if the producer said it, so I don't want to make any big theories about them teaming up. I do vaguely recall them talking about Malcolm Merlyn fighting with Oliver, not necessarily in like a regular team up, but them versus Ra's al Ghul type situation. Because right now, Ra's al Ghul still wants Merlyn, and he just killed Oliver, so they still have to resolve that plot. Episode 15 is called Nanda Parbat, so something big is probably going to be happening inside Nanda Parbat. There was this interesting interview that John Barrowman did where he talked about Merlyn's character this season and how he views himself. Like, he views himself as the protagonist, like any vain character would. They'd always be the center of their own story. But he kind of came off as if he was describing Merlyn as viewing himself as a good character, trying to do some good things. I don't know if that'll amount to atonement or anything like that, but that could lead to him fighting off Ra's al Ghul with Oliver. That's just one of many possibilities, but I'll post the link to that John Barrowman interview. He talks a lot about Merlyn. Question number 7. So we're mostly getting to Flash questions now, so we're on to Flash stuff. Nadeem asks, will they show Mirror Master? Yeah, I definitely think they will. I mean, they have most of the core rogues already. Either they've already cast them or we've already seen them on screen. I think part of the reason they might be holding off on Mirror Master is because of the way his powers work. Like, they want to show the Flash phasing through objects before they have other characters do it. It's like they're slowly ramping up the craziness in terms of powers. There's no way they're going to get to every single rogue from the comics. So season 2, you'll probably see some rogue characters that you did not see in season 1. Grant Gustin was actually suggesting that time travel could actually really alter season 2. But I think that'd be more of a Flashpoint situation where the Reverse Flash does something crazy in the finale this season, and then the Flash has to fix it in season 2. That's just him speculating. They haven't even started working on season 2 yet. Arrow just started breaking the story for episode 20. I think the Flash is like a little bit ahead of them, but they'll both have 23 episodes in the season. So both of them haven't even started writing their finales yet. Question number 8. Oze Yevabol asks, a super fast Barry couldn't just take the guns from them. Doesn't he see everything in slow-mo? This episode was so dumb. Okay, well, like I said, I mean, it doesn't follow real-world logic. Really, when you're thinking about why characters do things, one, either they're trying to replicate like a panel from the comics. In this case, they were. It was actually this panel right here. They were trying to duplicate this from the comics. It was just done for dramatic effect. Stephen Amell has talked about this issue on Arrow, like, with the way they do things. He said their number one goal is to make interesting TV. Sometimes that means bending the rules of logic. Question number 9, Scott N asks, it blows me away how there are all these possible Splinter shows all of a sudden, considering how surprisingly good the first 2 are. You're talking about Arrow and the Flash. It does feel a little odd, though, with Green Arrow being a league-level character, Flash top tier. All the rest of the shows are doing generally seem focused on second and third string characters. It kind of makes the Flash seem a little lopsided. Either way, the more the merrier. So yeah, you're saying how like the other comic book shows don't have quite as many A-list characters. They actually, we have the Supergirl show coming. They just announced Melissa Benoist is going to play Kara Zor-El. And then they have Teen Titans. Nightwing, I guess you could look at Nightwing as like a Green Arrow level character. At some point, there will be so many characters on television that, yeah, some of them will have more power than the others. I know a lot of people are actually wondering about those shows. I will be doing videos for those shows whenever they come. I might do some Supergirl videos in the near future just because they cast the lead. They're finishing the pilot. They have like a serious commitment, so we will get episodes, even if they do end up canceling it or if it does great regardless. It's like a Gotham situation with Supergirl. Whenever they were conceiving Gotham, like whenever they were making that show, Fox ordered a certain amount of episodes up front, even before they saw the pilot. It's kind of the same deal at CBS. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Fingers crossed that they finish the pilot by Comic-Con, so they might air the pilot at Comic-Con for Supergirl. Question number 10, Carlos Farina asks, do you think that the Reverse Flash really wants the Flash to achieve super speed to somehow travel to his own time? Well, he has the device now, so presumably he doesn't need Grant Gustin to travel through time. So Harrison Wells actually seems like he genuinely likes Barry Allen, like he doesn't secretly hate him. In the comics, Eobard Thawne actually admired Barry Allen as the Flash before he became Professor Zoom. What ended up happening is that he traveled back to Barry Allen's time, but kind of missed the mark, went to the Flash Museum, then found out that he was destined to become the Reverse Flash, and it drove him crazy. So I'm wondering if, yes, Harrison Wells is Eobard Thawne, admires Barry Allen in the future, so comes back in time to help him fix the future, which another Reverse Flash has messed up. If anyone's going to do any messing up of any timelines, I think it'll be Eddie Thawne's Reverse Flash, whenever or however he gets powers. They're really mixing and matching storylines from Wally West's era and Barry Allen's era. Harrison Wells keeps staring at that paper, and I think he keeps looking to see if the headlines change. I think he wants to fix the future, or at least achieve some specific outcome, and he wants Barry to be able to fight whatever that crisis is. Question number 11, Al Renshaw asks, do you think that the friend who's secretly funding Project Firestorm that Jason Rusch didn't know about is Dr. Wells? So I do think that Harrison Wells had something to do with it, but he said the military came and took all their equipment the next day, Jason Rusch said. So I think it also could have been Clancy Brown's character. If you remember, he was obsessed with metahumans, and he had worked with Harrison Wells previously. So of the two people, it could be, either Harrison Wells doing something a little more sinister or General Eiling. Question number 12, Get Off Ya asks, do you think that the rogues will gain powers like in the New 52 comics or just stay with weapons? Well, some of them, it's like a half and half situation. Some of them have the guns, some of them have like the weapons, and some of them have full-blown powers. Like if you remember Weather Wizard from episode 1, obviously his brother's going to become the new Weather Wizard, but he had metahuman powers. I think for now they're going to go with the classic versions of the characters, although I do think that we'll see more metahuman rogues show up, especially in season 2. Question number 13, Raz MW asks, I do enjoy The Flash, even though I admit it's cheesy, but this episode was very, very cheesy. It have girl in distress cliche, really. So you're talking about Caitlin Snow getting captured, like damsel in distress stuff. Yes, I think we'll see less of that in the future. I think Caitlin Snow will be a lot more capable. I think it was all by design, just so that they could get the Rogues versus the Flash moment at the end of the episode. Arrow's a good example of where I think they're going to get to. Like, Caitlin will get to Felicity territory where, like, yeah, she might not be the strongest character in the world, but she's very smart, very resourceful, so she'll get herself out of jams in the future. You'll just see more damsels, so to speak, saving themselves. Question number 14, Tresor asks, is it true that the Flash won't get faster because there's two Flashes siphoning the Speed Force? So that's true in the comics. I mean, they talked about that during Flashpoint, during that movie too, if you saw the animated movie. I don't know if the show is going to address that. I hope they do. I think we're a couple steps away from that. I think Barry Allen first has to learn who Harrison Wells really is, that he's the Reverse Flash. And then at some point, Harrison Wells will explain to Barry Allen, what the Speed Force is, how it works, a much broader explanation of how his powers work and what he's capable of. And more along those lines, the Flash will be time traveling this season. They said that the first time that he does will be completely by accident, and it'll be because something that the new Weather Wizard does. Like, he causes Grant Gustin to accidentally time travel. I have no idea who that's going to play out, but I love the idea of accidental time travel. They said that whenever they do it, it'll be both funny and really sad, which sounds like a perfect combination to me. Question number 15, TARDIS Guy asks, how big of an impact do you think that Oliver's death on Arrow will have on the Flash? So as of now, Barry Allen has absolutely no idea what happened to Oliver. The way they said on the CW Fan Talk, the writer on The Flash said that they're kind of keeping their storyline separate for now. There will be a new crossover in episode 18. Ray Palmer's going to go on The Flash to get some parts for his Atom suit. They haven't said whether or not they're going to openly acknowledge Oliver's death on The Flash in any of the coming episodes, but I think that they will find out at a certain point. If not before, then definitely during that crossover episode. And that actually reminds me, because Ray Palmer is going to Star Labs to get gear for his Atom suit, it also means he might get to shrink this season. If they're going to try and spin that character off as his own show, The Atom, then they're probably going to want to show him doing as many awesome things as possible just to get people excited. No confirmation on shrinking though. I think that they're going to hold that close to their vest. Thank you so much, everyone, for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. And huge thank you to all you guys that have been submitting fan subs for my videos so far. Here, I actually did a screen cap video just so you can see everyone that's done one so far. You guys have no idea how much this has helped me. So all of you submitted fan subs, totally earn a high five the next time I see you guys at a convention. I will be at Star Wars Celebration, definitely Comic-Con, maybe WonderCon. So don't forget, next week, Arrow is Midnight City. It's just like the next part in the Canary trilogy. Lots of shit going down in the Glades. The Flash is going to be doing Pied Piper, and I think he's actually supposed to be in a couple episodes, so his arc will actually cross over multiple episodes. So just in case you guys haven't seen him yet, you can click here for my Arrow episode 10 video, and you can click here for my Flash episode 10 video. Thank you so much for watching, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.